Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking the video out. Please like and subscribe. Today I'm going over the Boundary Prima system. I'm going to do kind of an initial impression and overview of the bag, and then I'm going to do a part 2 of a more formal review for it once I've put it through its paces a little bit more. So my initial impressions, just the construction overall and the quality is really awesome. I think they did a really great job at making a pretty capable pack. We'll start on the back panel here. First off, you see the contour in these shoulder straps. That's really great, hugs your body pretty well. So that's just going to add to the comfortability of it. Another really cool feature is their sternum strap is a fidlock, so you can pretty easily clip and unclip that. And I like that quite a bit. They got some Hypalon accents here. Maybe it's TPU, I forget. The one thing about those is that it's a fixed sternum position, so if you don't like that, like me, you might not appreciate that as much, but that's definitely not a reason to not buy the pack. They still give you a pretty good system. There are also load adjusters up top, so you can bring the weight and the center of gravity forward towards your spine. So if you are running a little bit of a heavier EDC or camera carry, whatever it is, it helps kind of bring that weight forward closer to your spine and kind of have your center of gravity really close so it doesn't hurt your back quite as much. The foam material on the back is actually pretty solid, and their ventilation seems to be done pretty well. I haven't filled that up yet and gone for a hike or anything, so I haven't had a chance to see how well that works, but first impressions of it seems like it'll do a pretty solid job. The bag is constructed of 750 Cadre, so it's a pretty solid nylon material. It's not a Cordura brand material, but if you're not going to use Cordura, this is also a really fantastic option. The bag, as I said, kind of felt pretty rigid. There's a kind of a frame back in here, but then there's also the field space in the back compartment. So let's get that out there. So I already had this open. You get this cool kind of greenish material lining that, and then you have the field space here. So this is pretty sweet. I've wanted something kind of like this for a little while, and I think it's great that they made a system that includes one of these. There's a magnetic closure up top here. There is Hypalon organization for pens, pencils, and then you have some zippered components too. So if you're carrying maybe a small ruler or a charger for your tablet or something like that. And then there is also a little kind of fob or nipple on the back, and there is a piece of hardware that it uses, again, magnets to kind of sit in place, and that way it's kind of floating in your bag. It doesn't hit the bottom, so if you do have a small netbook or a tablet in there, it's staying in place really well. And then there is also a laptop compartment. It's a softer material that lines it, and they say it'll fit up to a 17-inch laptop. Here I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro for some size reference, and it fits really well. The panel that separates the field space and the laptop compartment is pretty densely padded foam, so that's doing a great job at protecting it. I have no problem running my laptop in there. The top pocket here has that keychain connection. So I just got the base keychain, but now I kind of wish I didn't. I didn't think I'd be using it quite that much, but it works really well actually. They have that little magnetic keeper in there for it, so it clicks in pretty easily. You can take it out. I kind of undervalue that. I think it's a pretty cool idea that they did something like that. And then there's another soft pocket that's a magnetic closure as well. So it's the same material that's lining the laptop compartment. So if you threw your phone or something like that in there, it would stay pretty well protected. They're using all YKK zippers, and then they have kind of the Storm style zippers. So there's a kind of a vinyl or a, TPU, some kind of plastic material that protects the zipper coil from debris and dust and moisture as well. So that's kind of a nice feature of it. Probably the coolest feature of the bag though are these fidlocks. They work so well for the main closure. It's that simple. One-handed operation. It's also on a Hypalon kind of panel here. It's a little bit more rigid, which is good. You kind of need that for this type of buckle. That does help a little bit to have that rigidity behind it. I wish they would have made these fobs a little bit larger. They're kind of hard to find sometimes, but they're really easy to open, so you don't need to really grip anything to get that open. Let's just do that one more time. How easy is that? Didn't even touch the buckle on that one, just use the strap to close it. That's a really great system. I think a lot of companies are going to start using that more and more as well. So at least I would hope that more companies kind of see the value in that. I love that it's so quick and easy to open. There is a top snap, I've already undone that, and then a larger YKK zipper. If you've had Mystery Ranch bags, this will feel pretty familiar. And then the main compartment kind of fillets open like that. So you have in there, on this side, there's just a small organizational zipper with a pocket so you can throw smaller items in there. On this side of the pack, there is a mesh bottle pocket, or if you're going to throw maybe candy bars, something like that on a hike. There's another pocket for that with some elastic up top. There is a bladder pocket as well, and then you have the Verge case, which has internally. So let's get into that a little bit more. The bottom, since I'm there, is also that same Hypalon. I think it's Hypalon. I'll have to actually double check, but it's kind of a rubberized laminated nylon, so it grips pretty well, and it looks really nice. It's kind of easy to clean. It marks up pretty easily, but it's not dirty necessarily. I like this material. I have it on a couple other bags. My Trident 31 by VanQuest has a whole MOLLE panel made of this stuff, so it's pretty rigid. It's really durable, and I like that they've kind of incorporated that on the bottom. On the side here is where you get access to that Verge case. So normally I'd have my camera in here as well. There are 4 snaps that hold it in place. Behind this top panel of it, on this flap, there's also an RFID blocking pocket. So if you have your passport or something in there, that'll keep it protected. And they have a rigid frame sheet on this side of the pack where these bottom 2 snaps connect, and that makes it much easier to connect and disconnect the Verge from the main compartment, and then it just slides out. So this is it expanded. This is it kind of closed up. You get almost 4.5 inches of room. So that's really great. A DSLR, even with a telephoto, I would think would probably still fit in here. I run Sony mirrorless, so I would probably have no worries just keeping it in the more compact style, but having it open is really handy for a lot of other people's camera setup. There's some battery storage up top. There's a padded divider that it comes with in there. There's also a storage pocket up top here for maybe a memory card wallet or something. And then underneath here, there's tucked away a buckle that you then clip the removable waist belt to use as a shoulder strap or a hip strap. So that's also kind of a neat feature. You get kind of another option to carry your camera gear. And it's pretty easy. With this bottom panel here, makes it much easier also to snap those in place. Still got those same YKK zippers. And once again, these fidlocks just clip right in there. Super duper easy. I like that a lot. I really hope more manufacturers start doing something like that, because these are pretty strong, but the ease of use, I think, is a huge added value to the pack. There is a grab handle on the left side of the pack, and on the right side of the pack, you have an expandable bottle holder. It has elastic retention up top, and there is also a G-hook compression strap above it. So if you throw maybe a tripod or a monopod in here, you can also crank that down and keep it from wiggling around or falling out while you're on a hike. There is also bottom compression straps for probably, again, holding a tripod, maybe even a tent. If you wanted to take this overnight, you'd have to kind of be a little more thoughtful about what you're packing, but I think you could maybe even do that with it. It's pretty handy pack. The one thing about these straps is that it's really hard to get the G-hook out from the nylon loop. It's kind of tucked back in here and the loop feels really small. So if you're just going to slide stuff in and out and then cinch it down, that'll work really well. But if you have to take it out, that's a little bit of a pain, I've come to notice. But overall, my initial impressions, they did a really great job, made a pretty high quality pack. I'm really excited to start using it a bit more over the next coming weeks and really see what I can do with it. And then again, I'll make a part 2 kind of giving you a more thorough review of how I've used it and sort of how it's performed. And if there's any kind of nuances or wear and tear that I've noticed, I'll make note of that as well. Thank you guys so much for checking the video out. I'm really trying to keep up with putting more content out there, and it really helps to have people liking and subscribing as well. So I appreciate every one of you. If you have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave those in the comment section. And buy this bag. Thanks.